What's good, YouTube? It's your man Rage King back with another one. Yes, another upload to the channel. And before we get started, I ask if you please go down there and hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that share button, and hit that bell for notifications if you're new. Welcome to Rage Ranch TV. This is how we do Raging Rebels. Crown up. And if you're new to the crew, welcome to the Raging Rebel Revolution. Now let's vibe. And y'all, in today's video, I'm going to be discussing, did the Astros make a mistake keeping Carlos Correa? Let's speak on it. Now, I know a lot of people hear me say that, oh, you're absolutely out of your mind, you're crazy. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. And then we can have a conversation after the video. As long as you remain respectful and logical. Now, let's speak on it. Now, there's no doubt about it. Carlos Correa is one of the best shortstops in the league and all of baseball. The guy deserves every bit of accolade that he's getting. He is a World Series champion. And to be honest with you, he adds to any team that he goes to. Now, I know a lot of people will sit there and try to bring up the Astros cheating scandal. I know they love to bring that up. But yet, I find it odd how people love to bring that up. But yet, nobody in Detroit has a problem with A.J. Hinch being the manager. Nobody in Toronto has a problem with George Springer. And I guarantee you, if Carlos Correa was to hit free agency, every last team in the MLB will be trying to get him on their team. Let's just go ahead and get that out the way right now. The guy adds a premier bat to your lineup. He adds he adds good defense to your lineup. He's an all-around upgrade. He's an all-around upgrade almost anywhere he goes. He's an automatic starter anywhere he goes. You know what you're gonna get with him. He's a former champion, as I alluded to earlier. He's an all-around great player and a guy that could really bolster the locker room. A guy that can bring a winning culture anywhere he goes. Having said all that, recently he turned down, before the season, he turned down a contract extension with the Houston Astros. And that's got a lot of people speculating that maybe this is his final year in Houston. And with that being said, here's my thing. I know what Carlos Correa means to the city of Houston. He was drafted here in 2012. He means a lot to the city. He's brought a lot to the city. But in this instance, I'm of this mindset. If you're in the mind of a GM, right, you have to get the mind of a GM is, the job of a GM is to get the best possible players you can, get the best possible talent you can for the least amount of money possible. Now, I'm not saying that Carlos Correa does not deserve a big contract. I am not saying that at all. All I'm simply saying is that I'm of the mindset that if you could not re-sign him to a long-term deal, why let him walk away for free? You understand what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that if you would have put Carlos Correa on, well, depending if his contract was different, say he had an extra year on his contract, if you had Carlos Correa on the trade market, there would be very few teams that would not try to at least call and see what they could get him for. There would not be a shortage of call. There would be quite a few teams that would at least call and see what he would be available for. You understand what I'm saying? And with the Astros situation, though, I know they have a great farming system, they have a great developmental system. I think they're going to be great for years to come. They still have a lot of good bats on that team. They still have a lot of great offense. Here recently against the Athletics, you look at them play. Those two games, they lost that series against the Athletics because what? Their Achilles heel, pitching. You understand what I'm saying? It's not a lack of offense. It's not a lack of offense at all. I think truly that you could have taken Carlos Correa, and I'm not saying that they still won't at least try to do this or at least shouldn't think about it, but I think I'm of the mindset that if you couldn't sign him to a long-term deal, why not trade him to see what you can get for him? You understand what I'm saying? Specifically, why not try to trade him and see what pitchers you can get for him? You understand what I'm saying? You could get a pretty decent pitcher for Carlos Correa at the very least. You can get him. You can possibly get some draft picks, or you could possibly get that ace on the team that's not very good. You understand what I'm saying? That could use a guy like Carlos Correa to help bring up some young guys, help bring that winning culture I was speaking of, and that could give him that big contract because he's gonna be good for at least he's still got a lot left in the tank. You understand what I'm saying? He's in the prime of his career right now. He's gonna be in his prime for a while. I mean, I know the decline is on the horizon. You understand what I'm saying? I know he's got a few more years ahead of him before we start to see that decline, but ultimately, as time will tell, the decline is going to happen. But I figure right now, while he's in his prime, why not trade him and see what you can get for him? I'm of the mindset that if you got a guy that you can't get, that you can't re-sign to continue building on the dynasty that you possibly have, I would much rather trade them a year too early than a year too late, or let them walk away for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Don't let talent walk away for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? I understand you can't trade everybody. I understand that sometimes it just works out that way. But I figure in this situation with a guy like Carlos Correa, it could at least be a thought, and I will keep my eyes on the MLB trade deadline as well, that Carlos Correa could possibly. I'm just of the mindset that if you got a guy in his prime and you can't re-sign him to the contract you want without breaking your bank and try to keep the team that you already have intact that's already winning, why not trade him to get an elite pitcher or two very decent pitchers? You understand what I'm saying? To add to that pitching rotation, because you've got the offense, you've got the bats in that lineup, barring catastrophic injury. You've got a great farming system. You draft well. That's how you got to this situation in the first place, by drafting well. So why not take this opportunity right now when you got a guy in his prime to go ahead, trade him, look for the value you can get for him, try to get pitching because you're gonna need pitching down the road, because I'm telling you right now, that is what's gonna keep the Astros out of the World Series or cost them a World Series, is their pitching. That is their Achilles heel. When it's working for them, the Astros are almost unstoppable. When it's not working for them and you got to depend on solely bats, it's not, it leaves too much to chance. It leaves way too much to chance. So I'm of the mindset that if you've got a guy like Carlos Correa, you just can't come to contract, I give it to the MLB. I give it until maybe 2 or 3 days. I give it until a week before the trade deadline. You understand what I'm saying? I give it to the week of the trade deadline. If you can't re-sign him by then, try to trade him and see what you can get for him. You have to. You have to at least make the call. You have to at least make the call and try to get back pitching to try to keep that team afloat. Because if you let him walk away for nothing, I'm not saying it's not gonna decimate the Astros or anything, but seeing how George Springer walked away for nothing, you understand what I'm saying? Eventually it's gonna get hard to just replace great players. You understand what I'm saying? You can't just, no matter how good you draft, eventually it's gonna come to a point you're gonna start missing in the draft. You're gonna get guys that just don't pan out. You understand what I'm saying? So while you can, and you got guys like that, get what you can for them on the trade deadline. Get on the trade market. I will specifically keep my eyes on the trade deadline. I would look out specifically for the week of the trade deadline to see where this Carlos Correa situation goes. But that's just my opinion. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about the Carlos Correa section. Did the Astros make a mistake keeping Carlos Correa, or do you think they made the right decision by keeping him? But that's going to be the end of my video for today, man. I hope y'all enjoyed. It's been a pleasure making it for y'all. My name is Rage King. I am out, and I'll be back later on with more videos, more commentary, more good content. Now, hashtag that enough said. See y'all next time.